But I think I genuinely do enjoy the process of writing a book, and that is, I think, the thing that is going to carry me over the finish line at the end of the day. Yes, I am equipped to do this, and if I'm not, I can learn how to do it.
Reflections of the clouds above, the sound of rain along the pond.
Hi guys, if you're new here, my name is Becca. I'm a writer. I'm currently working on what I'm hoping will be my debut lit fic novel. It is a 90s East Coast autumn ghost story. It's been going under the name Project Eden for about the last 6 months. I did do a sort of soft title reveal when I unboxed the bound copy of my draft 2, and that is Glass Paradise. It's growing on me, but we'll talk about that in a little bit. Welcome to another vlog. I feel like I haven't done a proper, regular Rebecca writing vlog in a minute, and so I'm just kind of looking forward to easing back into my normal routines and updating you guys on where I'm at with everything because I feel like, to be so honest, I feel like I blacked out the last video talking about book and revisions and stuff like that. So I want to do just like a very chill, very low stakes, very present update on writing, goals, and all of that. In my last video, you saw me unbox this copy of the draft, and I had said that I wanted to do just like a read through of this as if it were a book. I did start that. I am currently on chapter 4. It's really painful. Is this a vast improvement on draft 1? Yes. Is it still bad? Yes. One of the things that I did was I did actually get it printed out. I printed it out in my apartment complex actually, which, fun fact, if you can find a way to print your draft yourself and then take it to Office Depot to get it bound, it is significantly cheaper because if you have them print and bind it there, it's like $60, but just the binding cost me like $6. So I was like tired of lugging around a giant binder, and I wanted to be able to like do this while I was editing. So I did end up getting this copy bound. I had already kind of started editing chapter 1. The reason I did that was because I knew that I was having some sort of feeling about draft 2. It was intimidating me. I think because I knew that there was a lot of work to be done. I started jumping into chapter 1 and honestly just kind of getting a feel for things, and I just had to rip the band-aid off of like, okay, eventually I need to jump into this. I need to not be afraid of my own work. I did do that, and then I did it for chapter 2, and I had told myself that I was going to take this break between draft 2 and starting on draft 3, and I kind of have not been honoring that. So, and this is why I think it's really good to talk about your work out loud with people that you trust. So last night I was talking to Edwin because I was already feeling really discouraged just with reading the first few chapters, because I'm like, I feel like all I did was move through the story, right? Like I just set up the plot, which I knew that's what I was doing when I was drafting this. I just had to get the story out. And now I'm at a point where I have to make everything make sense. And I think the thing that's really daunting about starting draft 3 for me is feeling like I'm going to miss things. And I think the sooner that I accept that I am going to miss things, but that's what my beta readers are for, to help me find those things along the way, the better. I'm in this weird limbo, so I was talking it out with Edwin last night, and I think just having some confidence of talking about my characters and my vision for them, and honestly getting somebody else's perspective, because Edwin is actually quite good when it comes to story and story structure and story elements. One of our favorite things to do is actually to dissect like TV and media and stories and figure out how they could be better done or what they did well. So I feel like I have a lot of practice talking about stories in that capacity. We were talking last night and he helped me, I think, develop a couple of really great layers, because I was describing it like I wrote the story this way and now I need to write the story this way. Like I have to figure out all of the depth and all of the nuance that needs to exist in the story for me to make some of the heavier, more impactful scenes make a lot more sense and also have a lot more emotional payoff as I'm working through that. So I'm not going to touch anything in these two drafts, which are the same draft, until Saturday, June 21st. I think that's the day. I have a writing date with my coworker that day, so it'll be like a great jump back into the story. And what I am going to focus on in the meantime is, number one, working and reading some craft books, and also this one book that I want to share with you guys, and also working on establishing the backstory, the history of the town, the history of the families, like the two families that are kind of key players in this, their relationships with each other. And I had kind of mentioned this in my last video, but I think I just kind of got way too excited to start fixing things, but I don't have the source of truth to reference to start fixing things. So I am going to step away from this and instead start slowly working on the developmental materials that I need to make the story better. I think that's why I was getting overwhelmed trying to wrangle everything. I also need to just like relax. I have been going at this story hardcore for the last 6 months. I think when I was doing my like statistic recap in my last video, I feel like finishing drafts in 3 months is really intense, and it's summer, so I need to just like relax and take a breath and chill the heck out for a little bit. But that brings me to a book that I want to share with you guys because this was recommended to me. I share a lot with my AuthorTube friends, whom are just my friends, so I'm just gonna say my friends, a lot about how I'm slowly starting to think about the querying package that I'm gonna put together, comp titles, things like that. Lynn actually recommended to me The Emperor of Gladness by Ocean Vuong. I did take the dust jacket off because I hate reading with a dust jacket. So she recommended this to me because she's like, hey, I started reading this and I think it might be a really good like sleeper comp for Eden. And as I'm reading more and more of it, it absolutely is shaping up to be that way. I am still very early on, but I think this is gonna be such a great resource for me. Not only is it also set in Connecticut, and not only is the main character already shaping up to be so much like Peter as well, the writing style is absolutely gorgeous, and it's giving me a lot of ideas for the way that I want to go about world building and establishing the world of Eden as a whole and how I want to frame the story. So I'm very excited about this. Lynn, if you're watching this, I know I texted you already, but I'm genuinely so loving this. That is my writing update, or I guess my revision update. I have absolutely no idea what to call it. I'm just gonna keep calling it a writing update. I'm trying not to crash out about any one thing. Brielle posted a video very recently talking about, I think, how she was blowing up her plot, and mostly I was really latching on to the conversation that she was having about, like, as a content creator and a writer, when my writing is like the center of what most of my content is focused on, and I've talked about this a lot before on the channel, it can be a little difficult to feel like you constantly have to perform, and a little difficult to feel like I constantly have to be sharing wins and successes. I feel like every video I have to be making some sort of project on the story, which, mind you, no one has said that. No one has said that they've expected that of me, but I do get a lot of comments talking about how people are like proud of me and how it's motivating to see me making so much progress in a short amount of time. I'm straddling this line of, I have a personal deadline for myself of when I would like to query this book, and also, you know, when am I too tired, right? Like when am I running on fumes? So I'm constantly trying to like straddle that line of like, I've never been fake about how I feel about the project or my excitement about it or the wins that I've had or the lows that I've had, but I just want to be very transparent that this is a very strenuous, sometimes migraine-inducing process. But I think I genuinely do enjoy the process of writing a book, and that is, I think, the thing that is going to carry me over the finish line at the end of the day, is being able to fall in love with the process of it, because that's where you're sitting with it most of the time, right? It's like releasing it and publishing it, whether it's self-pub or trad-pub, like it's a moment in time. It's a very quick moment in time, whereas the writing of the book is where you spend so much of your time. So those are a little bit of my reflections. I am working from home today. I'm not gonna take you guys with me into the office this week at all, just because I need to not focus on vlogging on days when I'm trying to get stuff done when I'm in the office. But I have been talking for 13 minutes. I'm going to take a pause. I'm going to go ahead and fix myself some lunch and get on with the rest of my workday, and I will check in with you guys when I have something to say.
company, purring on my lap. Not a single worry to be had. Sunny side up, the only thing that's filling my brain. For now it's sunny side up. The reason that I get out of bed is to lay down again. Oh, I'll be with you in a sec. I just need a day off. Nothing in my plans. I just need a day off. I'll get back. I'll do my best, but Betty calls.
Okay, hi guys, welcome to Wednesday. It is 11 o'clock on the dot. I just finished up what I think will be my only meeting for the day. I don't have any makeup on because I truly cannot be bothered to put anything on. Bear witness to my bare face. I'm going to finish up a little bit of work, and then I think what I'm going to do is go work at the coffee shop for a little while. I really miss doing that. I feel like it was such a part of my routine to work there while I was finishing draft 2, and I kind of miss it. Also, they started their summer menu and they have a tiramisu iced coffee latte that I need to check out. But I do want to give you guys a little bit of a revision / book update because I did end up continuing to read draft 2. Not making any notes to it, however. I'm just reading it to have the reread under my belt. And there's a few things that I'm noticing. Number 1, pacing, who is she? Number 2, characterization, what is that? Number 3, dialogue, don't know her. I promise I know how to write. And here's the thing, reading draft 2 took the wind out of my sails a little bit because I'm like, damn, all I have are the bones, which is what I set out to do. And to be fair to myself, there are a couple passages that I'm coming across where I'm just like, damn, that's good. But they're either not in the right spot or they're not communicating what I want it to communicate in its entirety, or I'm being too wordy about it. So I'm trying to relish in the nuggets of good that I am picking out from the draft while also trying to check off a couple things in my mind that I'm like, okay, that needs to be addressed in draft 3. And also, I guess I should talk a little bit about what I want draft 3 to even accomplish. I've mentioned before that draft 3 is the one that I'm going to give out to my beta readers. So draft 3 in my mind needs to be incredibly solid structurally. I do not want to have to go back and do another round of developmental edits, at least not massive ones. I want to clean up the prose. Is this too much to be doing in one draft? Maybe, but I think doing it in the 3 to 4 months that I have given myself may actually prove in my favor. Am I delusional? Yes. I come from the Alyssa and the books school of thought when it comes to my level of delusion of I can finish revising this book in like 3.5 months. It's fine, and get it query ready? Absolutely. What are you talking about? Okay, slack. So that's where I'm at. I'm trying to not get overwhelmed by it because I am overwhelmed by it, but I'm trying to take this in bite-sized chunks. I did also start reading The Emotional Wound Thesaurus, which I think is going to be so helpful for me in, I think, establishing a lot of what my characters are going through, their triggers, their emotional responses. Probably what I'll do at the cafe is really get granular about Peter's story and his backstory, as well as Laurel's. Probably not Laurel's today, but at least Peter's. My characters, as they are in draft 2 right now, feel very much so like caricatures of themselves. And right now I'm having a lot of respect for people that write characters that feel incredibly real, because I'm reading my own characters and I'm like, no, people need to connect with these people. That's like 90% of what this story is like, you need to be able to see things from their perspective. And I'm verbalizing a lot of this out loud so as to not continuously feel so daunted, I think, by the amount of work that draft 3 is going to be, but speak it into existence and take ownership of it and feel like, yes, I am equipped to do this. And if I'm not, I can learn how to do it. I can teach myself, and I can rely on my friends for their feedback, which I know will come from a good place, but also be incredibly constructive. That is my update. Then I'm gonna pack up. I'm gonna head over to the coffee shop for the rest of the afternoon. I do also need to eat lunch, and I need to eat a good lunch. I also need to take my vitamins. Being 31 is incredible. Anyway, that's it for this update. I will check in with you guys later. Appearance because I did get rained on getting my coffee, and you will excuse the fact that I'm wearing the same sweatshirt again. It's comfortable and I am a creature of habit. I just spent the last 40 minutes fleshing out every bit of Peter's life, essentially from childhood to teenage years, and I'm about to get to his young adulthood, which is when we find him, and this is very helpful. And you might be thinking, Becca, why didn't you do this in the first place? Because I wanted to get the draft done, and I didn't know what I didn't know that I needed until I did that. Will I probably do this beforehand for my next draft or story? Yes. But for now, I am learning. And that's what this channel is all about. While I was also reading The Emotional Wound Thesaurus this morning, there were a couple things that I wanted to write down to make sure I had a super solid understanding of for all of my characters, which is their baseline reactions, if they are demonstrative versus reserved, what their comfort zones are, their response to stimulus, their emotional sensitivities and insecurities, their emotional wounds, and their triggers. Some of these things I already know in some capacity, but I think it's going to be really helpful for me to sit down and flesh all this stuff out. And that's why I think for me specifically, it's been really helpful to get stuff down, even stuff that I am convinced that I am pretty sure about. I sometimes trust my head a little too much to house all of the information that is required to write a book, and I think I just need to write things down, get things out. I do really like the process of handwriting things every once in a while, even if I end up transferring them over to my Notion, just because I think the act of putting pen to paper, I feel like it helps me process things differently. I feel really happy with this. I need to switch back over to work, and then I also have to go to the gym tonight, but I'm hoping that once I'm done with all of that, I can maybe spend another hour on this tonight and really finish rounding out Peter's backstory, and then start prepping the other character sheets that I have to do the same thing for Laurel, for Duncan specifically, and then probably on a much less in-depth level with Peter's parents and Laurel's parents. So there's so much to do, but I do feel really good. This is helping me feel like I have a sense of ownership over the story again, and it's not just running away from me. So hi guys, happy Friday. I am so far away from the camera right now. I don't know if this shot is good. I don't know if my hair looks okay, but we're gonna roll with it because I think this is a cute little setup, and we got a chair for the living room, and I really like it. Today's gonna be a little bit of a busy day. I have a half day, so basically my work does summer Fridays, so around noon, 1 o'clock, we are all done for the day. I just need to make sure that none of the projects that I'm working on have anything urgent waiting on me, but I'm pretty much completely caught up with work. As far as revisions go, I don't even know if I'm gonna call it revisions. I don't think it's revisions. I guess it's revision prep. I am revision prepping. I am slowly making my way through the read through of the book, and last night I had a writing session with a few of my friends. I think it kind of just opened my eyes to, on the whole, I am still very much so excited to make these revisions and make these changes. I'm feeling a little bit of a disconnect because I'm trying to force myself to slow down and be intentional about the things that I need to fix, as opposed to just trying to get in there and make everything better, like right from the get. So I am practicing some self-restraint. I was telling my friends last night that there is no fun and game section in this book. It's maybe like 3 chapters. I have 2 different break into 2s that I didn't even realize, and there's just so much that needs to get fixed, but it's okay, we will get there. I have a plan to officially start revisions in like another 2 weeks to relax, and by that time I will have taken truly like a month away from actually working and typing in the draft. Everything is actually going according to plan. So the plan for today is I need to head to the store. I need to pick up a couple things for food. We ran out of eggs. I also want to go to the thrift store just because I haven't been since Taylor was here, and I found like my new favorite sweater, which is the one that I've been wearing the last 2 times that you saw me, and I kind of want to look and see if they have more, even though it's summer, but it doesn't feel like summer here. It's still like quite chilly, which is odd. So once I do those things, I'm going to hole up in a coffee shop for a little bit, double check some work things. At 1 o'clock, I have a call with Andrea. I'm so excited. This is the first time that her and I are talking one-on-one like this. I've been kind of a nuisance in her comment section for the last couple of months. So I'm very excited to actually get to sit down and have some one-on-one time with her. And then probably after that, I'm going to spend the rest of the afternoon, probably from like 2 to 5, really going deep into some revisions and working on those developmental materials. Before we get going for the day, I also just want to quickly point out that it is very early on a Friday morning and I have put myself together, and that is absolutely intentional. If you're a new viewer and you came over from my 5 a.m. morning routine, you'll know that one of the things that I'm trying to work on is actually pouring back into myself, taking time to put effort into my appearance. And I was like editing back the footage from the last 2 days that I filmed this week, and I was like, man, I should probably do my hair. I should probably put some makeup on, get dressed. We talked about this, Rebecca. And that's why I'm very excited to be sharing with you guys a few pieces that were kindly sent to me by Quince. This is not in any way paid. They were just simply kind enough to send me a couple of items to try out, and I truly am so obsessed with everything that they sent me, to the point where I have been wearing some of these items nonstop, and I wanted to share a little bit about them with you. They gave me a budget and I was basically free to choose what I wanted to from the website. So I chose 2 dresses, a pair of white sneakers, and some earrings, one of which I'm wearing right now. I will have the style of the dress both on the screen and in the description box below. But I have been wearing these pieces, and the pieces that I chose specifically were things that I wanted to elevate my wardrobe. I also wanted them to be things that I could wear for work or for special occasions, and I wanted them to be really versatile. I got so many compliments on this dress when I wore it to work the other day, and I'm wearing it again today because it's very comfortable, it's very easy to throw on. I am a big fan of a dress and sneakers combo. I think it's just like the most simplest way to feel very dressed up but also still very comfortable. I just want to thank Quince so much for sending me these items to try out. If you're interested, I will have everything that I have shown so far linked in the description down below. But that is enough of me yapping. Let's go ahead and get started for today. Hi guys, a little bit of a different angle. Please roll with it. My room is a mess right now, so I have to get creative. but I realized I didn't check in with you after I gave my little update this morning, and I've had a very long day and it was not at all what I expected, but in like a very good way. So I went to the coffee shop and I worked for basically like the whole morning and early afternoon. I did some work and then I switched over to writing. I did some more reading through draft 2, and I think I've finally found a system that I like. So while I'm working on developing these developmental materials and the source of truth for my story, I am continuing to do the reread in the bound copy, but I am also just jotting down like sticky notes so that I can get my initial reactions and observations to certain scenes while I'm doing the reread without getting bogged down on like line level stuff. And then when I eventually switch over to this copy, which will be where I do a lot of my line level and really heavy revising work, I can just take the sticky notes and put them in the same scene in this version of the draft so that I have them. And that's been working out really well for me. I've been kind of trying to figure out how to develop my revision process, and I think that's what most of this vlog was. I've been editing it little by little as I went, and I felt a little discouraged with it because I'm like, I feel like I don't know what I'm talking about. I feel like nothing I'm saying is making sense or coming across well. I feel like I'm very like disorganized in a way, but this is the first time that I'm really doing revisions, and I'm having to learn how to do it. Sometimes I'm not always good at being bad at something first, but that is part of this process. So I had my call with Andrea. We talked for 2.5 hours. And it was so lovely. And I just feel so incredibly blessed that like all of the mutuals that have turned friends on AuthorTube are people that are like the exact same in real life as they are on camera. I feel like I've never been disappointed with a single person that I've met through AuthorTube. I think I want to chalk that up to the fact that I've surrounded myself and presented myself in such a way that I am approachable to others, and I've surrounded myself with like good people, just like genuinely nice, good people. So yeah, we chatted for a while. We chatted about publishing, we chatted about AuthorTube and content creation and just like writing in general. And she is such a sweet, kind, genuine person. If you do not watch her videos, I highly recommend checking out her channel. She's just literally a breath of fresh air and sunshine, and I hope to be as wise as her when I'm her age. So Andrea, if you're watching, adore you. It's always nice to find someone that I can just like talk for hours with. I say this all the time, but I'm not really an extrovert. I feel like because of my job, I've learned how to be one. It's something that has kind of started bleeding into my personal life, and I'm not mad about it because I think this is a good skill to have, and it's opened me up to a lot more friendships than I think I normally would have exposed myself to in the past. I'm going to end this vlog out here. Some final thoughts. I hope this was entertaining in some capacity, or if not, if you're also like me and in a new stage of learning how to do something, whether it's writing or not, I hope this gives you the comfort to be awkward about it. I hope this gives you the confidence to be bad and try anyway. I'm constantly trying to figure out how to come online and be the best version of myself and be vulnerable about my journey with writing and everything. And I feel like the next 4 months when it comes to revisions are gonna be more learning experience, and I'm just trying to savor that process. I'm trying to like really live with it. Hope you guys enjoy this week's vlog. I think it's gonna be a chunky one. If you like this video, consider giving it a thumbs up so that other people can help find the channel. If you are not subscribed, please consider subscribing. I post new videos every single Saturday at 10 a.m. I love engaging with you guys any way that I can, so please feel free to leave something in the comments down below if you want to see something specific from me. Other than that, I'm going to leave you. I hope you have a wonderful week until I see you next week, and until then, I am rooting for you.